This week on My Global Adventure.
Oh my God, that makes me dizzy.
Yeah! Yeehaw! Woo! Got it!
You might think that this is just a convenience. I showed up in Arizona and found myself a good-looking guy that I'm hanging out with. Not so. Introduce yourself, big man.
I'm Seth Heald. I work with Arizona Outback Adventures, guide tours down in the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
Excellent. Which, by the way, is where we are. What part of the Grand Canyon are we at right now?
We're actually in an area called the Havasupai Indian Reservation, and this is Wallapai Canyon right here in the foreground. It's one of the biggest side canyons of the whole Grand Canyon.
At the bottom of the Grand Canyon is the Havasupai Indian Reserve, where the Havasu Indians have lived for centuries. It's the most isolated reserve in all of the United States. And that's where we're going to camp.
And we're not necessarily just going to jump off this cliff and land where we need to be. We're riding horses down to this little place today.
When I first took a look at the horses that we were supposed to be taking down into this canyon, I thought, no way, they're not gonna put me on these things. They were shaggy, they were sweaty, they were nasty. And they had just come up from the canyon itself, and they were probably just exhausted.
They're definitely well adapted, sure-footed, but they've lived here for centuries, and the only way for the Indians to get in and out of their village down the bottom of the Grand Canyon was either by foot or horseback.
This is Brian, Seth's partner. He'll be riding the rocky 4-hour horse trail with us. The trail ride down to Havasu Canyon was worth whatever those horses might have smelled like. The first part of it was this really steep, narrow sort of path that it was amazing to me that these horses were finding their footing at all in this stuff.
This trail doesn't seem very horse-friendly.
It was kind of nerve-wracking at first when we were heading down, but once it leveled out and we started hitting the sandstone, it was just beautiful, and it just kept getting more and more beautiful as we rode. It was very cold, but the further we went in, the further these walls would come up around us until we were completely encased in this canyon. It was beautiful. Just outside the village, we find our camp and get ready to settle in. Not so fast. First, Brian has a dare. We're going for a dip in Havasu Falls in February, in the coldest water in the country.
You see that big boulder there covered in moss? Well, we're gonna traverse right down next to that, jump in, and immediately swim to the wall there. And the first thing that happens is you kind of get overwhelmed by the mist. And the mist will you actually have to share the air in your lungs. So it can kind of be emotionally overwhelming too.
Okay, so what part of this whole adventure is actually fun?
Fun? The feeling after you do it, the accomplishment. The accomplishment of actually.
So once we're back here again,
yes,
that's when it starts getting fun.
That's the fun.
As soon as we hit the water, my lungs froze, my body froze, and we came up behind the one big waterfall. I don't think my body has ever gone into that much shock in my life.
The mist was so heavy, we couldn't breathe at all.
I was trying to speak to you, and I was like,
I know, we were just, all I could think of was he kept saying, when we were out here, he's like, don't forget you can swim. So I was just like, I could swim, paddle, paddle. I started losing one of these shoes. Oh man, that was awesome. I can't even get this thing on, look at me.
Brian and Seth were such a perfect balance of being so adventurous, so fun, and so professional all at the same time.
Okay, so how did you get involved in guiding around here?
Seth actually introduced it to me. I'd come down here for spring breaks and stuff, and he'd been down in college, and we came down for the first scouting mission and spent 3 days down here just checking out every little spot we could. Decided at that moment, I was like, we gotta bring down here. We've gotta show people how special it is. So,
Yeah. So what is it about this place that's so special?
well, I can't really sum it up.
Yeah,
in
it's
one
hard to
word.
sum up, but everyone knows the majesty of the Grand Canyon. Down here you have this extra element, or two extra elements, and one is the water, which you've already seen is just that amazingly powerful blue color. And the second element that makes it special is the people. I mean, all our friends that live down here in the village and how unique their lifestyle is.
I'd never done a sweat before, so, you know, it was a double blessing that I got to do the sweat and to do it with someone like Diana Sue. Our second full day down by Havasu Falls started off, I guess you could say, magically. One of the Havasu tribe members named Diana Sue asked if she could give us a blessing for our journey. You could tell she was used to communing with the spirits that lived there because I think they showed up that day.
I have much of my ancestors here that are in spirit and that give me the acknowledgement that it is good that I remember and that I honor them by coming to sing here for them.
Do you feel their presence here?
Yes, all the time.
Diana Sue was a very emotional, passionate woman who was overjoyed that we were there, and specifically that I was there, which was really special to me. At one point, she asked me if I would do a sweat with her, which is an incredibly intimate thing to ask. It's usually family members or close-knit community members that would do a sweat together. So of course I accepted.
Could we close the...
Yes.
And I got very lightheaded. And she would sing, and then she would pray, and then she would ask me to pray, and then she would sing again. And we were in there for maybe 40, 45 minutes.
That's very intense in there. We prayed, and then Diana Sue sang for a bit, and then I began to pray in a language that I don't know. Apparently I do know, but I didn't know that I knew. It was pretty intense.
It was an incredible moment for the two of us to share in there, and somehow it stayed in there. It was a moment that we got to share, and it was definitely intense. I'm not good with cows.
Okay.
What cow? That cow?
All cows. All cows scare me. Especially this one that's like 18,000 pounds over here. I've never seen a cow that big.
In the Arizona desert where the tall saguaros grow, where the purple Bradshaw mountains rise, the agua fria flows, down in a lonesome sand wash where no man should ever go.
Day 204 of my global adventure, and we are in Scottsdale, just north of Phoenix, about 5 hours away from the Grand Canyon. And I'm going to Cowboy College. Yeah, I was raised in the mountains and around all these things. I don't really know even how to get on a horse properly. I've kind of bucked the cowboy culture my whole life. Safety is Rocco Walkman's first concern for his new cowboy students.
Horseback riding is the single most dangerous recreational activity there is. There's an accident every 13 hours of use. If you took all the people who ride and all the hours they ride with all the horses. Every 52 hours of use, there is an accident requiring an ambulance or a helicopter.
Rocco operates the Arizona Cowboy College with Lori Bridwell. Lori started the college with her husband Lloyd 11 years ago. Then in April of 2000, tragedy hit the Cowboy College. Lloyd Bridwell lost his life in a propane explosion while en route to an annual riding event.
Lloyd had been on that ride for probably 20 years. And everybody has these trailers that have the horse part in the back and then like a little living quarters in the front. Well, he borrowed one. This one gal said, well, you can take mine. And he was so excited because he used to like sleeping on the ground. And there was a glitch in the propane in the trailer. And nobody really knows what happened, but 6 o'clock in the morning, there was a flash explosion.
Lloyd Bridwell's dream was to keep the cowboy way of life alive in America. That's why he started the college and invited his friend Rocco to share that dream.
Every year we have less and less ranches that work like this. 100 years ago, the average age of a cowboy was between 13 and 19. Now the average age of a working ranch cowboy is 58. So it's a mission for myself. I've been privileged to carry on.
The time for talk is over, and my real education begins.
I actually think
aren't you sweet?
was that hard? Now watch your left foot. You don't want, that's it. You don't want your foot to be where he's going to put his foot back.
Can you come down for just a minute?
Late.
I can't believe I'm cleaning a horse's hoof. You have no idea how afraid I've been of this my whole life.
Late. Backwards. Left hand in the front, right hand on the back.
Maybe I got a leg in there as
That's a
well.
hospital bill. So you go. Again.
Whoops, hold on, sorry, I got nervous. He knows this is my first time. He's giving me a hard time, isn't he?
Straight up.
Don't bite my butt. Yeho. Cut it out.
1.5 times
I
around.
think if I'm sharing air with a horse right now, this is unreal. You have no idea how afraid I was of these animals a day and a half ago.
Throwing. Put the hand down, let go. There you go. Thumb up, pull your slack. Excellent.
I'm not good with cows. All cows scare me. Especially this one that's like 18,000 pounds over here. I've never seen a cow that big. Oh, here we go.
Next person.
All righty.
I'll be right behind you. You get hit, I'll see it first.
Now, is there a better cow to go after here?
Actually, the easiest one to do is Buford. Once you've hooked on to a 600-pound animal, don't take your eyes off it.
Oh, pulled too early.
Very nice. You hold on. You almost had to nothing too long. Just take what you need from the ladies and leave them with the words.
It's been 2 years since Lori's husband Lloyd died. She and Rocco work hard to keep Lloyd's vision and spirit alive here at the college. It's something Rocco carries with him.
I read books and articles, how to deal with the death of a special or a loved one. And it kept referring about closure. And I was having a hard time with it because I can't close this guy out. Everything I think or I do with horses, I think of him. So he's the kind of guy that needs to be carried with you every day. And we don't mourn his death. We celebrate his life. And wherever I go, I take him with me. Always been cowboys, and still are, it seems. Sadly in search of one step and back of himself and his slow-moving dreams.
In just a few days at Cowboy College, I've been given more than roping lessons.
Cowboys are special with their own brand of misery.
I feel like I've known Rocco and Lori forever. And as I say goodbye, I hope that someday I can return. For me, the best part of Cowboy College was meeting Rocco. He was so sensitive. He was such a big guy. He was very good at what he did, and he was a very strong kind of character.
Ma'am, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad I met you.
I'm glad I met you, too.
Make this quick, because cowboys aren't supposed to cry. in his slow-moving dream.
The client understands and agrees that the mission can result in complications, including, but not limited to, air sickness, heart attack, injuries to the back, neck, and head due to the violent nature of the mission. This is so my dream come true. There have been a lot of things that we've done on this trip that have been amazing, hard to describe, so cool, chances of a lifetime, things that people won't see or do in their whole lives we've done in the year. There's one thing that I have always wanted to do with my life that I can literally say, now that we're doing today, is a dream come true for me.
The web audience had voted for me to fly an extra 300L acrobatic plane. If I had done nothing else in the last 8 months, but got to do this trip, this flight in this plane, it would have all been worth it. I would have given up almost everything else.
One of the most important things before taking to the air is choosing a call name.
And this is it? This is the selection?
That's your
Okay,
selection.
what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take Blondie, because I really probably am gonna be a little blonde today.
This is Carl Schlemm.
Hi, Carl.
Nice to meet you, Asia. How are you all?
Good so far. We're still on the
Good.
ground though, so.
Yeah.
Carl was going to be my pilot, and he was really cool, really friendly, really professional, and very sharp, which is good because I was going to be flying this plane at some points in time. So for him to be sharp was an important step.
Sure.
Can you describe the plane that we're flying in?
Yes, it's the Extra 300L. It's a world-class aerobatic aircraft. There are no prohibitive maneuvers in this airplane. Anything you can think of, we can do. Even more than a jet. We can tumble end over end. We can roll faster than a jet.
Are you serious?
yeah.
We can tumble end over end. I've never
sure.
even heard of that.
It's a Lamchabak. Yeah, we can do one of those.
It's exciting. Okay, and your qualifications would be?
I was in the Air Force for 12 years. I was an F-16 pilot and an instructor for 8 of those years. So you're in good hands. The Kilo will do.
Here we go. Lots of power. Kind of cool up here, isn't it?
It could be minus 40. I really wouldn't care.
Okay, I'm going to show you an aileron roll, and you can follow along with me if you want. It's up to you. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's give it a try. Here we go. Power's coming up. And I'm just going to fix the nose up. And I'm just going to roll. Woohoo!
Oh, very nice.
You want to try one before we go into a loop, or do you want to? It's up to you.
All right.
You won't hurt the airplane. Give it a try. You've got control.
Okay.
All right. Very nice. Woo! All right. Good job, Blondie. I've got control. Let's do our, how about a hammerhead? Remember that maneuver?
Roger.
Okay, Blondie, here we go. I want you to look at the left wing. And we're going to go straight up.
Oh, my.
Flying to the moon. And I'm going to kick left rudder now. There's your smoke coming around.
Nice.
All right.
Oh, my God. We are heading straight for the ground right now.
Straight for the ground. What do you think of that? All right, Blondie's flying this one. Keep pulling now. There you go. Keep pulling. Yeah, nice. 3-2. Keep pulling. All the way down. Get that nose below the horizon. Yeah, nice. And now roll up right now. There you go. Not bad. Neat little airplane, isn't it?
Nice.
I've got control.
Okay.
How you feeling?
I'm doing okay. I was feeling a little sick at first there, but
Okay. Well,
I'll let you know.
we can take breaks, so.
We were doing hammerheads, we were doing 8-point turns, and then he kicked it into high gear and started doing some acrobatic moves that were incredible.
Ah!
and roll. Left runner and push and take a couple. And overhead, yeah.
Woo! Man! Oh my God, that makes me dizzy.
Yeah. Yeehaw. Woo! Got it. That'll dislodge anything. How you feeling after that one?
Being able to have the experience of being in this plane was a dream come true.
I'm so glad you were my pilot too. You were very kind.
It was the most exciting thing that I could have done on this trip. I mean, I all but cried throughout this day. And I did get sick.
Hey, you don't happen to have another one of these bags?
I do, of course.
But it didn't detract from the experience at all. This was by far the greatest thing that my global adventure could have given to me. Arizona has been a blast, and that's all due to the people I've met here. People like Carl, who was the perfect co-pilot on the ride of my life. Like Seth and Brian, who set a new standard for adventure. And Diana Sue, who was so open from the beginning. And of course, Lori and Rocco, real cowboys who taught me as much about life as they did about roping cows.
Coming up on My Global Adventure.
It just got weirder. Priestess Miriam pulls out this giant snake and hands it to me.
In that sense, I do use her as a paintbrush, but not in an exploitive way.
This